The Human Rights Act pretty much lays out all of the times when you're not allowed to discriminate. So it relates mainly to public life. So if you're offering a service that's otherwise available to members of the public, you can't exclude groups from that service. So if you own a shop, you can't have a sign up that says, no gays or whatever on the door. You can't exclude people from those sorts of things. But then it goes on to describe the situations when you are allowed to exclude people. A really good example of when you're allowed to exclude people is there's an exception in our Human Rights Act, and it's for travel purposes. Do you remember Contiki tours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The OE thing.
OE things, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're under 35s. Okay. So on normal circumstances, that, and if you look at the Human Rights Act, wouldn't be legal because you're saying you can't attend this tour because you're over 35. The exception in the Human Rights Act, which tells you when it is lawful to discriminate, it says for the purposes of travel, I can't remember the exact wording, you are allowed to discriminate on the basis of age. So age is the characteristic that they're interested in when it comes to travel, which is why you can have a Contiki tour for under 35s. By the same token, there are exceptions in there that relate to sex. So one of them is sports. One of them is privacy and dignity in changing rooms and bathrooms. One is counselling. Another one is insurance. So insurers can take into account a person's sex when offering them, particularly life insurance. They're allowed to do that. That's not unlawful discrimination. So it outlines all of that stuff. And so the things we're concerned with are those particular exceptions that relate to sex. So when we say that it's not unlawful to provide separate changing rooms or bathrooms for the purposes of safety and dignity on the basis of sex, that sex means biological sex. And that's kind of what it's all about. So it's not as to whether or not transgender people are free to be, they shouldn't be discriminated against, but they're not able to override the exceptions. They're not able to sneak in. So where it's not unlawful to exclude males from a woman's space, that includes men, transgender women.